What's he want to extract? It's going to be an $8,200 bet. And that could chase Frank away.
Now, at this point, I'm not sure what you could put Cody on that you beat with your 8-9.
Well, let's take a look at what these players are sitting down with. Emma Zaimovich with $13,650. Cody Bell has $32,050. Dan Weinman with $34,350. Bruno Firth got $46,800. And Frank the Tank Stapuchin, $26,350.
This is a cash game, so those are real dollar amounts in front of each player, meaning there's nearly $150,000 spread across the table.
So yeah, you don't have to play Ace-King anymore.
9-10. The 7 of clubs.
Yeah, it's too much.
I feel like we need to add some stuff.
And the 9-10 is just playable enough that you'll get yourself in the mix trying to take down that extra money.
That is very true. Okay, we have a couple folds, and now Bruno makes it 300 to go. Frank the Tank, WPT champion, goes out. And Emma's gonna make the call. Here's the flop, ace, queen, 7.
Eesh, close.
Check, check on the flop. Bruno with bottom pair. Does not continuation bet here. Emma turns a gut shot looking for a 3 going to the river, and there it is. And so the nuts on the river for Emma.
Yeah, what to do? You haven't built the pot at all. Bruno didn't bet it for you, so... Okay, she's gonna stick in a bet and get a call.
The nuts?
The nuts. I got there. Somehow.
It's a nice way to start this. River out. Not a big pot, but Emma happy to take that one down. Emma, WPT champion in Montreal a few years back. She is quite the player. She's originally from Bosnia, now living in Canada. Let's take a look at her cards. Ooh, ace-jack. And there, she's gonna raise here with ace-jack. Cody and Dan going out. Then Bruno is gonna raise this hand.
You guys look pretty funny with masks on. especially.
And Emma's gonna stick around for the flop. It's a king, 6, 4, 2 clubs, but the 4 clubs is Frank's money card.
I look like a ninja.
But will he call it out?
Am I like a ninja?
Yeah, you do with
You
yours.
think so? Full.
Bruno looks
I
like
don't know
he's
if I've
got.
ever been called an elephant before. That's a new one.
Bruno kind of looks like he's got ladies' panties on.
That's right.
Another
was going
4
for.
of
I
clubs.
do have ladies' panties on,
I
actually.
did good with the ninja call, right? Another 4 of clubs.
And Frank hit his 4 of
great.
clubs in the flop and didn't call it out again.
You're too busy talking about ladies' panties.
I don't even know if I flopped a pair. I'm like, I'm a ninja.
You are the.
That's another prop they have going, and they pick a card. If it comes up on the flop, you
You
get
guys are so
$300
mean.
per person. Frank has
So
forgotten now
mean.
twice.
I was gonna let that one slide and try not to bring it up.
That's like almost making me want to play this, even though I've been playing plenty of garbage.
Frank is on
Let's
high
see.
alert now.
Frank is on high alert now. He
6,
better be.
6, that's 12 I've missed out on.
Want to play in a $15 million tournament? The first 200 viewers to sign up will get a free entry to win a seat into the $15 million guaranteed WPT World Championship at Wynn Las Vegas. Simply use this QR code or go to wptglobal.com/YT and use bonus code YT82. Join the action on WPT Global, the world's largest poker network.
I think you guys may have found, like, if this happens a couple more times, you may have found the way to tilt Frank in poker.
I wonder if he can get up to 0 for 5.
0-0.
Look at me, I'm a ninja.
I think the rest of the table might fall out of their chairs laughing if he gets that high.
I won't be laughing again if I forget a few more times.
Okay, now it's ace-king. Let's get back to the real action. He's got big slick there. Makes it 300 to go. Emma is gonna make the call.
The good news
Odds
is,
on the numbers or whatever aren't changing.
the good news is I'm never gonna needle you again for it because I don't want you to remember.
No, it'll be all right.
All right, the flop is a queen, 7, 6.
7 of club, please.
Ultimate amount
And
of
7 of clubs is actually Emma's card. She quickly calls out.
Wildly.
Now, Emma never forgets to cash in on her card. The 7 of clubs makes its 3rd appearance of our cash game so far.
So there you go. Frank is gonna take that one down.
Oh, it's too late for that.
Oh, that's right. We switched to 9-10.
Cannot win.
3?
4.
Wow. What is that, blind raise, a blind payout?
Straddle?
Straddle.
Yeah, live.
Straddle 4?
4?
Sure.
Four of clubs, 4 of diamonds, 4 of hearts.
That's pain. That's 1,500 plus a 3-0 lead.
1,200.
Frank straddled for 400. Emma makes it 1,200. Live straddle by Frank the Tank. Wants to spice the game up.
Bruno wants in on the action and calls his ace deuce of spades. Frank with queen 7 of spades. He'll make the call from his straddle, so 3 ways to this flop.
7 of clubs, please.
And there's Emma's 7 of clubs.
And top pair
check.
with her ace kicker.
Yep.
Everything's going right for Emma.
Okay, focus poker now.
I checked right after you. Check, check.
So she'll bet 1,200 with top pair, top kicker here. Bruno doesn't have a way to continue, so he's out. Frank, getting a nice price with a pair, will make this call. 4 of spades on the turn, no help to either player. So Emma, way out in front, needs to decide how much to bet.
And she is eager to take this one down
Darn it, Emma.
as she bets 4,000 with her 10s to try to move Frank the Tank out of the spot.
Now, Frank started the action in this hand by straddling to 400. That has bloated this pot to over 5 figures in the turn, but he does get away.
She's going to take that pot down. Everything going good for Emma.
I was really waiting for the darn it, Emma. I raise.
I'm commit. I call.
Welcome back to Las Vegas to the WPT cash game. Dan Wyman and Cody Bell are the 2 winners at this point. The other 3 players are stuck, but they have cash in front of them.
Yeah.
And they are eager to come back. Who's going to be the big winner here tonight? We will see. Action goes to Emma. She quickly folds her hand.
She has the 4
And
clubs.
there is
Please.
Cody Bell with ace 3 of spades. He likes it. Makes it 300 to go. Now Bruno with jack 9 over the top makes it 1,200.
Yeah, Bruno seemingly looking for any excuse to get involved right now. 3 bets his buddy Cody, but does outflop him here on 10-9-7.
These guys have played a lot of cash games together. And just like that, Bruno going to bet 1,300 and take it down.
Oh, that's a good card. It's a really good card.
So slop around with jack 9,
Having chicken, real chicken.
hit half of it, and take the pot down.
It was kind of how I took it.
There's Frank the Tank telling a tall tale of something. He, of course, took a WPT championship down, and he was holding a chicken wing the entire time.
What's the story behind the chicken?
You need a story?
I
You
mean,
don't just walk around with chicken?
seems interesting to just.
Yeah, no, it was actually, so it was 2.
Bruno 3 bets kings here. Frank immediately calls jack 10 suited. Dan
The Venetian.
will come along with pocket 8s. So 3,000 in the pot going to this 3-way
I better not
flop.
talking to. Let me get past the flop. Okay, check.
9, 3 deuce, 2 spades and a heart. That will give Frank 2 overcards, 3 to a straight flush, but not much of a hand
Wasn't
here.
that interesting. Wasn't really partaking in cold beverages and.
He'll have to go away. Bruno's bet of 1,600. Now back to Dan, whose 8s are good enough to continue, and he will make this call. 4 of diamonds on the turn. Not likely to slow Bruno down.
1,000.
4,000 from Bruno over to Dan. Dan will make the call once more. So he needs an 8 on this river. Does not find it. 5 of spades.
You won with kings?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, there you go. Frank
Got a
is
big
talking
T-bone,
about his
Cody, and
famous
So
chicken
I
wing
stuck a fork in
escapade.
that. 'Cause I really did want to keep eating it when I went back. Set a big T-bone on a fork at the table. And the floor guy, I forget who, was like spazzing. I'm like, I'm really eating this. I wasn't putting in people's faces. I'm not making a mess.
Frank's chicken wing has a whole backstory. Wasn't just like some food he ordered at the table, no.
That's awesome.
See, because he won the championship holding the chicken wing, He's got stories to tell for the rest of his life. You have to listen to it now.
Plate.
Subway, you know,
Yeah.
eating it.
I think he's delusional.
Not making a mess or whatever.
It's better than using your hands, right?
You're gonna take the sub from him.
I'm just kidding. I love the guy. He is entertaining.
But that first original piece of chicken lasted, I forget, 40 days or something. I finally dropped it off a end of Huntington Beach Pier when we were there.
Oh, that's why Huntington's so dirty these days.
300 from Bruno and his flush draw is enough to get this pot slid in his direction.
Wrong color.
I know. Saw 3-3 and another no
Bruno
side.
suffered an early setback when he lost a huge pot up against Frank, that since then has reloaded and rebuilt his stack.
300.
Raising up an awful lot of hands here, starting with this ace-5. Frank calls the ace-queen right behind him. No other takers.
4, 3.
So these two get to a flop heads up, and it is 5-6-4. Bruno out flopping Frank. Starts with a check.
Well, a 3 on the turn. Yeah, they went check, check, and now Bruno's going to bet 300. Call by Frank. And a 5 on the river.
Nice card for Bruno. Going for a little extra value here with his trips, but Frank and his ace high not gonna pay him off, so Bruno will take that one down, and he keeps stacking as we go to break. Now, Bruno has shown no lack of guts tonight. He started off losing a huge pot to Frank, has rebuilt his stack since then.
Good.
Except when I had to gamble, then I was...
Impressive. Yeah, makes it harder when there's...
Oh,
Yeah, the one of the guys I played with definitely should have been on the other side of 0.
yeah. Yeah, if guys are shooting 63...
All right, we got lots of players here.
3s plus 4s are the worst.
Yeah, like,
Dan raised, and the flop is a 7-7-6.
Goodness, Cody.
Wow.
Check.
Cody flopping a full house.
you know when they're asking the
And
first
look at this, Frank's
Yeah, really.
only
Ooh,
outs are to a running full house or a running straight flush. But his hand looks pretty good. 2 overcards, backdoor flush draw, open ender, so he's gonna bet 400. Cody will raise it up right away, no slow play, going to 1200.
Dan goes out, and Frank is stuck. Very interesting. What's gonna happen? A 9 here. That's not good for Frank. Now he has to get involved.
Now he's got top pair to go along with his open ender. But as we know, the 9 is his only remaining out.
1,200.
But he's gonna stick in a bet of 3,200 with a monster hand. Wow, he's getting the action. Queen. He is very, very safe, obviously. What's he want to extract? It's gonna be an $8,200 bet. And that could chase Frank away.
Now at this point, I'm not sure what you could put Cody on that you beat with your 8-9. 5-4 is about it, and that would be optimistic to believe Cody check raised the flop against 3 players, barreled twice.
Nice hand, nice hand.
Frank puts the pieces together and gets away without any further harm.
Now, they're playing that they show 1 card. They're obligated to show 1 card, even if they're not called. So he shows 1 card, and that's good. Sometimes that loosens up a game. Lets
Yeah.
people anticipate what that player had, perhaps.
And that's a pretty good card, so it's saying a lot.
6.
Keeps it social. As we move on, the blinds are 50 and 100. And Frank is straddled. Emma has raised to 600. Now it's on Bruno, who has his hand that he usually likes, 8-7, and he's going over the top to make it 2,400.
Bruno looking for any excuse to get involved tonight. So active with the 3 bets. Emma, undeterred, makes the call with the ace-8 suited, and she is in a dominating position against Bruno here.
All right, big pot here. And here is the flop, and it It's an ace 10-3. It's a great
man.
one for Emma.
What a flop for
Almost
Emma.
3 of diamond. It's been a while.
Oh, Bruno leads out with a continuation bet, even though he caught nothing. And Emma, do you just want to rope-a-dope? Just call?
Yeah, there's not much reason to raise here. You know, your hand is likely good, well protected, and can improve, but if you raise and get the money in now, it's probably against a better ace or a set, and if she wasn't good before, she certainly is now.
Problem is, Bruno's got nothing, and he knows Emma called the flop. So a good check here by Emma. I like this. And go into the river, and she, of course, gets the flush. Unnecessary, because Bruno has nothing, nada. And he's gonna slow way down and check. Emma excited, hoping that he has something to be called on, because she's gonna make a bet. No doubt about that.
Really a question of sizing for Emma. She blocks her opponent from having an ace. Probably wants to go big, but not huge, and she does bet 6,000 to 9. Bruno with the instant fold.
Yeah, Bruno ran away.
And we are gonna show 1. What's it gonna be, ace or the 8?
No way, no way.
I'm not sure which one.
Which one do you want to show?
Yeah,
Can I pick?
both are really good.
They're all
The
good.
ace.
They're
nice.
all good. What are you gonna do? You can't disguise that power.
Wait, we got to start off. Straddle, straddle, straddle.
All right, so here we go.
Emma straddles.
Frank, paying for other people's straddles.
Okay.
I straddle, right?
So he's paying 200 for Emma to straddle. Live straddle.
That's an action player. He doesn't just straddle himself. He straddles for you.
Yep.
What? You're paying for my straddle.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Straddle, straddle, straddle. Straddle.
How do you like that, Tony? It's straddle, straddle.
Frank told me to put the 4 on.
I'd
so
like
I
it
put
very
the
much
4
if I
on.
were Emma. Say, okay, you want to pay my blinds? Sure. Oh, and I get pocket 7s?
I agree.
And Bruno comes over the top after straddle, straddle with ace 4 to make it 1,300 total to go.
I'm all in.
This is a nice shove, Vince. This is kind of a tournament poker situation. Emma has 40 blinds facing a raise and a call from 2 players that have been awful loose. So she just rips it with her middling pair, which is exactly how you'd play it in a tournament. And now she has Frank
You didn't have to count them on.
contemplating whether he wants to call it off with ace-jack suited here and have a $35,000 flip. Yes, he does. And he'll be pretty pleased to see that Emma just has a pair of 7s.
Fun.
Fair fight.
Seems reasonable.
Okay, no. I just
You're in once, right? Only? You always are? Yeah.
Yeah.
How much you have there? Is 2 flags or 3? 2?
Yeah,
Perfect.
13.
No ace or
yeah.
jack on the flop. 4 clubs, 4 diamonds.
7 of clubs.
4 hearts.
7 of clubs, please.
Oh, actually, no, not a 3. She has a boat then.
Let's see the flop. It's a king, deuce, deuce, so
Am I saying 3? She's got a boat.
he gets his wish. He does not get an ace or a jack on the flop. Going to the turn, it's a 10. So he's a significant dog once again. And he just wants to put pain at the table on Emma with a suck out. Can he get it? No, it's an 8 of spades on the river.
Nice.
Oi.
How much did that
Emma with a mid pair, gonna double up against Frank the Tank.
A double check or it's fine.
Nice hit.
Nice hand.
So Emma Zaimovich holds on to drag a big one. We'll see if Frank wants to buy back in. Coming up with more action right after this.
Want to play in a $15 million tournament? The first 200 viewers to sign up will get a free entry to win a seat into the $15 million guaranteed WPT World Championship at Wynn Las Vegas. Simply use this QR code or go to WPTglobal.com/YT and use bonus code YT82. Join the action on WPT Global, the world's largest poker network.
Decrease.
Right?
Yeah, 10-8.
Okay, we're getting a little more reasonable here, guys.
Give you a
It's
heads
still a
up.
pretty good hand, but
200 from each player.
All right, the action is on Emma, quick fold. Cody Bell also going out. So now Dan Weinman is going to put in a raise with his jack 9, and Bruno right over the top with an ace 7 to 1,200. Frank is gonna mess around with his 7-5 with a call. And Dan folds. Okay, here comes the flop.
And it is Frank who outflops Bruno here, although Bruno has 3 to a straight, 3 to a flush with the nut diamond blocker. Let's start by betting 1,400. Frank absolutely continues. 9 of diamonds, an interesting card on the turn. Bruno now blocks ace-high flushes and 8-7 for a straight. Has a ton of outs going to this river, so you see there, 32%.
Oh, what was the 2 cards we drew?
8-10.
8-10, thank you. Nice.
Thanks.
So Frank will get out of the way there. Bruno and his bluffs take that pot down.
I think I changed my mind. I only want to collect all the flags.
And there's the tank this time with King 10. He'll quickly raise it up to 300.
I'm trying to
Emma has the magic hand, 10-8
Yeah. So, look at this. That's tight.
here. Yeah, doesn't want to get involved.
That's pretty tight. Says, I don't want the chump change. I want to win real pots. And the flop's an ace, jack, 9, all hearts. She would have been open-ended.
Checks around on the flop, 9 of spades on the turn. Frank technically in the lead, but Cody with the open-ender essentially has the best hand, and he'll take a little stab for 300 here.
Guys,
That's enough to get the job done.
8-9, 8-10.
10-8.
Okay, that's what I had. I was like,
Oh,
I'm not
my
sure of
goodness.
suit if I'm playing it, or I'm not sure if what hand is it anymore.
The
so I'm
hand's
just
so
gonna.
good. The hand's so good. You can like play it anyways. That's the thing. It's like you don't. The game doesn't even have to be on most of the time.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I like brain
Obviously,
jam.
I'm only 4 betting, like if the game's on, but normally I just play the hand.
All right, we move on. Quick raise by Emma.
Dan, just calling on the button with queens here.
Oh.
Usually I'd be surprised, but Bruno has been so 3-bet happy and Frank so call happy. I think that Dan is laying a trap here, and for the moment, it's worked out nicely. Bruno 3-bets to 1,400 with King Jack. Dan makes this call.
Just call. So interestingly played here by Dan. Let's see if it pays off. Yes, it does. Queen 6-3. He flops a set and played it slow. He's got Bruno pushing and continuing to push. $1,800 bet.
And the King Jack is a nice hand to block Dan's top pair combinations. You think, well, if he flats, it's probably with stuff like King Queen and Queen Jack. And so that, coupled with Bruno having the King of Clubs blocker on this turn, may lead him to fire a second barrel.
He's betting 4,500 with nothing.
What a dream spot. Perfectly disguised hand.
Slow
Your
call.
opponent drawing dead. And a 5 of hearts should shut things down on the river. Dan has a pretty significant range advantage here, more likely to have a 4 than Bruno. And Bruno holding the King of Clubs is a big problem because if you think that Dan what in I didn't even get to finish talking about what a bad bluff that would be. Oh my goodness.
You still should have slow rolled me. When I say you win, I'm like, you be like, I don't know, man.
I've learned my lesson, slow rolling and losing.
We have 3 winners. Frank the Tank and Bruno throwing the party at this point. And we have a raise by Frank. He's got Queen 10 of spades and Bruno with ace deuce. Bruno will stick around. What do you got to lose now? All right, here's the flop, Tony. King 9 deuce.
Got a lot less to lose now than a minute ago. Well,
8.
Bruno with bottom pair still in the lead. Frank with the gut shot and backdoor spades. Bets 800, gets a quick call. Despite the jack, but not to be 6 of clubs on the turn. Frank hasn't been too aggressive about bluffing, but this would be a nice spot to try and get one through, and he is going to fire 2,100.
Yeah, he's telling a good story here. Quite droppable.
Bruno, undeterred here, seems to think his deuce could be good, and in fairness, there is a lot of draws on this board with that 6 of clubs putting a club flush draw out, 8-7, Jack 10, Queen 10, all hands that could be barreling. So Bruno makes the call, and we get to a river, and Frank is gonna have to fire a third if he wants any hopes of winning this pot.
White flag.
Pair.
Oh, nice hand.
Thanks.
And he's going to check and let this go. So Bruno, sort of walking into the tilt fields there, calls with the deuce, just the deuces, and will win the pot.
What is the low?
I like that. I've never heard the phrase tilt fields before. Where do they grow in the tilt fields?
Oh, so many players have been
They
never
get lost
seen
in the
again.
tilt
Yeah,
fields,
never seen
right?
again in the tilt
Like
field.
children of the corn.
Having a ball here tonight. The big winner, chuckling it up. He's got Jack 9 of hearts this time. Now we have a straddle by Cody, and Dan will raise. Frank has called it with King 7, and Emma with Ace Queen.
Emma's gonna 3-bet to 2,600 here, putting pressure on our two opponents. Dan with kind of a marginal hand here, close between calling and folding, will make the call. He has to like that Frank is involved behind him. Frank, not in a folding mood. Looks down at his remaining 10,000 or so and says, yeah, it seems like a good spot to get it in there. So he will call the King 7 of clubs, and we see a 10-5-3 2-spade flop. Nobody hits. Emma with a couple of overcards and a relevant blocker to the Queen of Spades.
Yeah, she raised before the flop, and she'll bet here 2,000 into the big winner here tonight, Dan.
I would expect Dan to fold, but he doesn't look like a man who means to fold. Look at this, Vince. He's gonna raise to 6,500 and turn his hand into a bluff. Wow.
Frank gets out of the way, yeah.
This is gonna work. I'm a little surprised that he did it with such a nothing hand, but maybe he picked up something about Emma's timing or Frank's disinterest in the pot, but either way, the bluff from Dan Weinman works out. Emma and Frank have to go away, and the instincts of Dan Weinman continue to pay off at our cash game.
Hell yeah.
I remember being impressed with his timing and instincts at our Tournament of Champions final table that he won.
Where's the 16?
All right, we have a straddle by Dan.
I'm ready.
Double straddle for Bruno.
Triple straddle for Frank.
There you go.
Good no 32. Good no 32.
It's around to Bruno. He's got the big hand. Ace, king, big slick. He'll make it 2,500 to go. Frank with just King 9.
Frank is running out of room here, and he's just gonna rip it in, run out of room and patience. Shoves in his last 82.50 with King 9 in very bad shape against Bruno's Ace King suited.
This is the martini hand for Frank.
Hoping you win and we just get to keep playing poker. I hope you guys
I'd
chop.
be okay with that.
I hope you guys chop.
No, let him win.
He's up against Ace King. He's got King 9. Here we go with the flop. It is a Jack 8-7.
It's a reasonable flop to win on.
Looking for a 9 or a 10.
10 of clubs.
That is very fair. Let's just put it down there. I think Frank will accept.
10 of clubs.
7 of diamonds, no help.
Okay, no longer rooting for the 10 of clubs.
Only a 9 or 10 will save Frank. Otherwise, he gets stacked by Bruno here.
This could be the last chicken wing for Frank, and it is. It's an 8 of spades on the river.
Nice hand.
Thanks.
He is busted. Bruno taking it down with Ace King.
Hope to see you guys
Nice playing with you.
again.
For sure, Frank. That was a lot of fun.
Nope. Frank folding up his fan, steps away from the table.